What is going on, Pisces? Butch Tarot here. I am going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. I am going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to pull the Oracle card at the end. Yeah. So with all that being said, let's get it. Universe, what message do we have for Pisces? What is going on for Pisces, universe? All right, Pisces. Oh, shit. Let's go. So the first thing I see, Pisces, I feel like this connection is, and whether this is someone, for some of you may already know this person, for others, this may be someone new coming in, but I feel like the moment you met, it was just something different. You know, there's just something different. I mean, overall energy is... I feel like there's this incredibly strong connection between the two of you. And I feel like incredibly strong is underselling it. From what I'm seeing. We're going to get into it, but... I feel like that's underselling it. I know that sounds hard to believe, but I feel like that's underselling it. What I see, like I said, the moment you met this person, there was this instant connection. You know, it was very, it seems almost spontaneous, you know, with some Knight of Wands, Sagittarius energy. I feel like it came very quickly. You know, but I feel like it's moving really quickly. I mean, we have the Knight of Swords and the Fool. Not only do I feel like this is the beginning of a new journey, I feel like this is the beginning of that journey. And trust me when I say this, I'm not overselling this at all, Pisces. I'm not. I just feel like this... I mean, I'm definitely getting the soulmate type energy, but I feel like that's underselling it. I mean, you just click with this person. There's just like an understanding, and it's almost like a very comfortable energy when you're together. Like just two peas in a pod. You know, just fits like a glove type energy. I mean, we have new love. We have the Lover's card, that deep connection. We saw it from the beginning. Like I always like to say, the Lover's card is that iceberg love, you know, because we can see it. It's evident. And as we get closer, we start to see how deep this really goes. You know, I feel like with this person, you give them something that's no one's ever given them. And that's what makes this so different. You know, you give them that peace. Energetically, you give them peace. And like I said, this is more of a spiritual connection because I feel like it goes much deeper than the physical. It goes much deeper than just emotional. I mean, it's everything wrapped into one and coded in, you know. The physical will be that much more intense because of that emotional connection. that mental connection, it just makes everything better. You know, it's like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Peanut butter is awesome. Then you dip it in chocolate. It's even better. I mean, I feel like this is what you've been waiting for. This is what they've been waiting for. But again, it's bigger than either one of you realize, and I mean, you're gonna see it. But I feel like you've been both waiting for this. This person just feels like they can be open with you and free. You know, Pisces give off this energy of just like when you're talking to them, it's almost like you're the only person in the world. And that's kind of what I feel like this is like with, they're more than happy with that, with you and them being the only people in the world. You know, one of my Pisces friends, when I met him, he, just talking to him, just engaging, you know, just feels like you're the only person. And just, you know, when you ever met that person, that type of energy, when you meet that person that just, you just click with them, and it doesn't really, you don't really even know why, you just know you do. You know, it's that your energy's clicking. You know, we don't see energy, so we have to trust our feelings. And that's exactly what I see here. I mean, trust your intuition. I always say Pisces have the most incredible intuition. The only downfall is a lot of times they have a hard time, you know, believing in it. You know, but what I see with this person is, I mean, we have this incredible connection, but we also have a friendship, a sense of trust being built between the two of you. And it's all, like I said, it's all very deep. It's a very deep connection. It's very, like I said, it's a spiritual type connection. And I don't know how else to put that without, and that's as deep as I can get it without, you know, I'm not trying to oversell it. I'm actually still feel like I'm underselling it. But it's like a trusted best friend and a lover and a companion all in one. Like I said, I mean, I feel like this person thinks about you when you're not around. I feel like you're going to give this person peace when you're not around. Just the thought of you. Just knowing that this is who they have to, you know, when they come home. Whether it is they come home to you or they come home to be able to talk to you, thinking about you all day. I mean, this person knows exactly what they want from you. They want what they're getting. You know, they feel fulfilled. I mean, this is exceeding even their dreams. Like I said, it's the peace that you give this person. Just so many people underestimate peace. You know, they really do. I mean, what I see with this person is like I said, with the eight of swords and the seven of swords, both in reverse. I mean, there's no boundaries between the two of you, and they like that. You know, we don't have to have boundaries. We don't have to set boundaries because boundaries get in the way. That's exactly what boundaries mean. Getting in the way. Or it doesn't mean, you know, it doesn't, that's not the Google translation of the meaning, the word boundaries, but boundaries is like putting something up to stop something, you know? We don't have to stop anything here. Like I said, you're not like anyone this person's ever met, and they understand that. And this is why I see this moving forward in a very big way. You know, Six of Cups in reverse, not like anyone they've ever met before. You don't even remind them of anybody they met before. That's how different you are. You're unique to them. And the feeling they get from you is unique. And they desire it. They crave it. And they're going to continue. And the desire, that craving is only going to get stronger. You know, it's like, I don't know, this might come off totally wrong, but you watch all these like drug movies, like movies about drugs, and the drug dealers, the cocaine dealers are like, oh, first sample's free because I know once you get some, you're gonna want more. You know what I mean? That's what it's like with this. Like, they're getting high off you as a drug. You know what I mean? I know I said it before. This is gonna sound weird when I say it, but that's how I felt. So I'm just going with the flow. You know, we have the devil in reverse releasing themselves from boundaries. You know, not feeling tied down, but feeling a part of something and enjoying that. And if that wasn't all, you know, as good as it is, like I said, I still feel like when I'm selling it, just finding balance with this person. You know, they love the way you make them feel, and they're gonna want to return that feeling. You know, and they just have a good time with you. You know, I feel like you're going to see this person in a way no one's ever got to see before. Because you make them feel a way no one's ever made them feel before. You make them feel safe. You make them feel accepted. You make them feel a part of something that they want to continue to be a part of. Giving them balance, more Sagittarius energy. And I mean, we finish this off. Like I said, I wasn't underselling it. We have the Emperor and the Empress, the masculine, the feminine, the nurturer and the protector. You know, planting this seed and watching it grow together. You know, I feel like this person is going to be very protective of you. You know, they're protecting their peace. You're their peace. You give them peace. You make them feel things that they've never felt before, and they like it. And I feel like you just get each other in a different way. I feel like this person makes you laugh. You know, just as much as they're excited to talk to you, you know, as soon as they let you go on the phone or stop texting, you know, they're thinking about the next text. They're thinking about the next phone call. When they see you, they're thinking about, you know, when they're saying goodbye, they're thinking about the next time they're saying hello. I mean, they're thinking about you when you're not around. You know, and like I said, it's an establishment of trust. Pisces tend to trust a little too easily sometimes, and sometimes you can get burned by it, but I don't see that happening here. You know, because I feel like this person's giving you their trust as well. And I feel like that's what's the different, that is what the difference is. Like I said, I mean, you feel like a warm, cozy blanket. You know, if you've ever been in where I'm at in Canada, it gets really cold. And those cold nights, nothing's better than that warm, fuzzy blanket. And that's what it feels like. It feels like they could just sit there with you, and it just, every moment with you is time they're not wasting. I see this moving very quickly, though. Like I said, I mean, with the Fool, it's the beginning of a journey, and not just a journey, the journey. I mean, there's so much going on here, and I love it. I am very much like a Pisces in the fact that I'm a hopeless romantic as well. So I love to see when things come together. I'm an unapologetic romantic. I don't apologize for it because that's me. I like it. I think that's why I click so well with Pisces. The Pisces I know anyway. With this one, we have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. We have a great mixture of we have water. We have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I feel like we have a little bit of everything. I mean, we have Capricorn and Taurus, some Virgo in there as well, and then we have Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. That's the difference. That's the thing. It's a spiritual connection is so much deeper. Like I said, it's like the chocolate coating on your peanut butter. You know, it just makes it better. It's like the peanut butter to your jam. Peanut butter sandwich is good, but a peanut butter jam sandwich is great. You know, it just, and that's the thing too. If you've ever been part of a connection where you have real feelings for someone, versus a connection that maybe, you know, you like them, but you know, the intimacy is 10 times stronger. It's 10 times more intense. You know, it just adds that intensity. It adds, you know, when you really have a real connection with someone, you know, intimacy and sexual contact is heightened. You know, it just makes everything better. Anyway, I'm hooked on that read. Let's get an oracle card. I'm gonna use the classic horror oracle. I got my Crystal Lake shirt on. I'm trying to wear a different Halloween shirt every day this month. So far, I'm doing good, and I got a lot more to go. Anyway, universe, give us a card for Pisces. So we have nature in reverse. So that's from the movie The Birds. Nature. I don't know them off by heart, I'm sorry. I'm getting them, but there's a lot of writing with these, so it's going to take me a while to remember it all. The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock. Problems of a feather may flock together, and while just one may seem manageable, if many descend upon us simultaneously, we can feel beset by an irresistible force of nature. While complications peck and scratch at us from all sides, it can be hard to know which way to turn or what to do. But take comfort, as suddenly and mysteriously as a flurry of problems can arise, their departure can be equally abrupt. So the reverse meaning is nature will take its course regardless. You know, sometimes what I was getting from this read is, you know, sometimes when you're in a relationship, and even though you're in a relationship, you're with someone, you still feel alone. That's what sets this read apart, is I feel like not feeling lonely even when you're not with the person. You know? Like sometimes you can be with someone and it's just not right. It doesn't fit. Something's wrong. And even when you're with them, you feel alone. With this connection, that's what really sets it apart. That's what really gives me that deep connection. Is like when you're not with this person, you don't feel that way. You feel like you're part of something even when they're not physically with you. It's funny how that works. You know, how we can be with somebody. I mean, I've spent time in my life where I was in a group of people. Like I was people all around me, and I just still felt alone. Like I didn't belong. Like I didn't exist. You know, like I was a wallflower just sitting on the wall, watching everything happen around me, and I just wasn't part of it. You know, and it gives you that certain amount of comfort when you meet that person that connects with you, that completes you, and you, even when you're not with them, you know they're there. You know, you trust in the feeling, you trust in the connection that you have with that person. Where you're thinking about them, you know, like, I don't know how many times, like when I first met Rose, I worked in the oil rigs. So I spent a lot of time away and working. I mean, I was working 80, 90 hours a week. And there was days when I was in northern Alberta. Like, I don't know how to, go get in your deep freeze. Go jump in your deep freeze for a couple hours. That's what it feels like. Like, it sucks. My eyes sometimes would even icicle up. And, you have icicles coming from your nose. It was cold. And what got me through that is knowing that I was building a future for us. You know? There's many a times where I was just having a badass day and I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to quit. This job sucks. And then I think back to, my happy place, being cuddled up under a blanket with Rose. I had this really nice blanket. It was actually how I got her in my room the first time. I said, "You want to see my blanket?" Because I bought this really expensive blanket and it's really soft and I still have it. Those cold days, it physically warmed me up to think about her. And that's what I mean by that deep connection. And that's the connection I want everybody to find. It's out there. It's just sometimes we get caught up in the wrong connection, or we get caught up in our own heads thinking that right connection isn't out there. I look at finding love as like jobs. You're probably gonna have lots of jobs before you find the one that fits, the one that you want, the one that you like, the one that you enjoy, the one that makes you feel like you're not working at all. But just because all those bad jobs doesn't mean the good job isn't out there. You know what I mean? Just because we had to go through that doesn't mean it's not, but that's the thing too, is sometimes we get stuck in the wrong job and, we talk ourselves out of quitting, or we talk ourselves out of walking away from it. I'd rather, when I worked in the oil rig, I made killer money. But at some point you gotta weigh the pros and cons, and the cons weigh out, money isn't everything. Money is nice. You can buy nice things. But peace, you can't buy. So if you can find it, hold on to it. Never let it go. Because it's something that we don't really find that often. And, sometimes we gotta look in plenty of different places before we find the right place. But that's the thing, it's like not, if you've ever thought about something like the best burger. I don't know why I go to burgers all the time. I love burgers. Or the best steak. You may have tried a steak here. It was terrible. You tried a steak here. It wasn't so bad, but it wasn't quite it. And you try one here, and it was better, but still, it's not until you find the right one that you know what the right one looks like. It's not until you find the right one, then you know where the right one is. The right one's always been there. Just like that perfect person for you, they're out there. You just haven't met them yet. So you got to keep looking. You don't play hide and seek and stop looking. I laugh because a friend of mine, he's always losing stuff. And I said, you know what? I bet you there's a kid out there that's still hiding 20 years ago. Still hiding, waiting for you to find them, because you must have been terrible at hide and seek. Like, he couldn't find something in front of him. Always tease him about it. Anyway, that's what I have for you. Be good. Take care. Stay safe.